Welcome to Socrative. Socrative is an online resource that allows teachers to create formative assessments so that they can view their students' understanding. Students in the classroom can use any device and operating system to take pre-curriculum assessments and quick checks that provide real-time live results to the teacher. Socrative, you can sign up for a free account. When signing up for a free account, you must provide your first and last name, a valid email account, create a password, identify the country in which you live, the grade that you teach, your zip code, identify the school that you are affiliated with, and your role within the institution. After agreeing to the terms, click Submit. I've already created my free account, so I'm just going to go to the teacher login. When prompted at the teacher login, you are asked for your email address, your created password, or you can sign in with your Google account. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my Google account, which will then take me to the dashboard. On my dashboard, the very first thing that I notice is a room number. This room number must be provided to the students. The room number never changes as many times as you use Socrative. They use this room number to enter into quizzes when you make them live. On the dashboard also, you can start a quiz, ask a quick question of the class to answer with responses, have a space race, or have an exit ticket. But before utilizing any of these tools, you must first have quizzes in place. Let's go to Manage Quiz. Under Manage Quiz, you can create a quiz, import a quiz. My Quizzes is your bank of quizzes. Reports are student reports. Under Create a Quiz, the very first thing that you would need to do is create your quiz. Naming your quiz. After you create a name for your quiz, you have a toggle switch here, yes and no. This provides you to share quizzes with peers and colleagues by giving them this reference number. Other colleagues that have a Socrative account are able to access your quizzes if you give them this number. Add a tag. Add a tag allows you to directly connect Common Core standards with your assessments. You choose your subject that you're teaching or the subject that your assessment covers, the grade level that you're covering, and then you can choose from the standards. We're not going to add any standards right now to this quiz. When creating quizzes, you have the choice to ask students multiple choice questions, true-false questions, or short answer questions. We're going to go ahead and click on a multiple choice question. And my question is going to be exactly the same as my title. Once asking my question, I then want to provide my students with options. We're only going to have 2 answers today to this, just for demonstration, so I'm going to X out these extra choices. Make sure to mark the box of which answer is correct. Also, when creating quizzes, you have the option to add an explanation or an image. To add additional questions, you just go down to the bottom and again choose multiple choice, true, false, or a short answer. Let's say that I added the 3 different questions and I want to move my short answer right after my first question. Using these arrows allows me to reposition the questions that I'm asking the students. The X's also allow me to eliminate the question completely. So I'm left with just my first original question. Once creating my test, I would scroll to the top and click the Save and Exit. You can see now in my quizzes, it's banked with my other ones. I have what is Socratic, just what I created just now, another one that I created earlier today, just for a trial run, and elements of a story pretest. When clicking on the elements of a story pretest, I have the option to duplicate my test, delete my test, download my test, or edit my test. Let's just click on the edit. Again, when editing my test, I have the option to delete questions, move questions, or add questions. I think the test looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and move back up to the top again and click the Save and Exit. I'm back at my dashboard. On my dashboard again, you can start a quiz, ask a quick question, have a space race, or do an exit ticket. Let's go back to Manage Quizzes real quick. So we've created a quiz. Importing a quiz allows you to import another teacher's quiz using that serial number, or to choose a file that's on your program or on your computer. We are not going to be importing any today. I just wanted to let you know that this is where you would enter that number from other teachers. So let's go back to our Manage Quizzes again. My Quizzes gives you that list of quizzes that you have already created. And Reports allows you to see reports of these tests. You can archive reports too. You can look at the recent, all of them, quizzes, space races, exit tickets, short answers, and archived reports. These are all of the ones that I've archived. Okay, now that we've covered the Manage Quizzes, let's go into our dashboard. We're going to go ahead and start a quiz here. Okay, so before I start the quiz, my students would be directed to this account, and I'm going to do this along with them so that you can see what they're seeing on their devices. So again, the students would enter the teacher's room code. That is the code that is found at the very top, and it never changes. It is also not case sensitive, although it appears in capital letters on top of the teacher screen. They can use lowercase letters. So I'm going to go ahead and join the room. Once the students join the room, they are waiting for the teacher to start the activity. Let's click back to the teacher account. Let's go ahead and start a quiz. I'm going to go ahead and choose the elements of a story pretest. I have the option to disable students' names if I do not want their names to appear. If I had this up on my Mimeo board, that is an option that I may do so that my students do not see other students' activity. I could randomize the question order, or randomize the answer order, or disable the feedback. I don't think that I would ever want to disable the feedback because the feedback allows the student to know if their answers are correct or incorrect. Let's go ahead and start this quiz. Once I start the quiz, I'm prompted to this box. My students, however, are then asked to answer their name or enter their name. I'm going to go ahead and click Done, and then my students go right into the quiz. Let's take a look back at the teacher view. On the teacher view, I can see that I have 3 students who have entered into the class. I see Casey and Paige have already started answering their questions. And I'm going to go ahead and back and start answering mine. Plot is a series of events that transpire throughout the story. I'm not really sure about that one. I'm going to go ahead and click false. So if a student were to choose false and then submit their answer, they would get the immediate feedback, letting them know that their answer is incorrect and that the correct answer to that question is true. Question number 2. During the rising action of a story, I am introduced to the characters, the setting, and the conflict. I'm going to say that's true. Again, immediate feedback is prompted to the students. I know that this question is correct. Let's look back and see how the students are doing. I can see that Casey and Paige are doing very well here, with only one missed answer each. Casey is now 100% done with the test. I'm going to go ahead and go back and finish my test, just clicking on them randomly and not answering the questions, just so that you can see what students would see. I'm going to go ahead and miss this one. An external conflict is a problem that happens outside of a building. External, exit. Ooh, I got that one wrong. Complications. Complications are when the characters in the story cannot finish their homework. I have that problem. Oh, wrong again. The climax of the story is considered the most exciting part of the story that allows the reader to foresee the outcome. Okay, I'm going to say true. Oh, right. The following action in the story is after the climatic action takes place and the story begins to wind down. I finished the test. I'm still waiting for my teacher to see if she's going to make any other assignments. Let's go back to the teacher view. So I have my 3 students who have finished the test 100%. I can also see areas in which they missed questions. Well, let's take a look at number 7 and 8 because those are questions that I have more than half of the class that missed. Clicking on number 7 allows me to see the question that was asked. I had 3 out of 3 students answer. Let's go back to the results table. Question 8, again, allows me to see the question that students are struggling with. I'm going to go ahead and click the Finish now that all of my students have finished the test. Once you click Finish, you have 3 options to see the activity of this test. I can get reports. When getting the reports, I can use a whole class in Excel, individual students in a PDF, a specific question in a PDF, and then I can also determine how I want to receive those reports. I can either mail them to myself, download them to my computer, or automatically send them to my Google Drive. Under View Charts, this is giving me an overall percentage of the students. I can see that Heather got a 60 on this test, where Casey and Paige got a 90%. So they probably are very familiar with the elements of a story and may be able to move on to an independent study so that they are not doing remedial work. Heather, however, is going to need a little bit more instruction so that I know that she feels confident and knows what is going on with the elements of a story. Let's go back to the report, and I'm going to click to the dashboard. Once again, back at the dashboard, we've already taken a quiz. Let's go ahead and ask a quick question. I can ask the students a multiple choice question, true, false, or a short answer. Let's go ahead and go with a multiple choice question. Now, let's click back to the students. The students have these options, A, B, C, D, or E. I would pose the question out loud to my students and probably go over the answers slowly for them or write them on the board. So my question for the students is, do you feel that you understand the difference between an internal conflict and an external conflict? Choose A for yes. Yes, I understand the difference between an internal conflict and an external conflict. Choose B if you say no. I'm having trouble. I do not completely understand the difference between an internal and external conflict. So I think I'm going to choose B. No, I had trouble with internal and external conflict. I'm going to submit my answer. I'm again waiting for my teacher. I can see that out of my 3 students, 67% say yes. They feel pretty confident when identifying the difference between internal and external conflict. But 33% of my students are saying that they still have a little bit of trouble. Let's go ahead and click Finish. Let's take a look at the space race. Space Race allows you to present your quiz in a different form for the students. I can select a quiz, so I'm going to go back and still select the elements of a story pretest. Number of teams. I'm going to go ahead and choose 2 teams. Depending on the number of your students, you could choose many more. Under Auto Assign is when the computer go ahead and randomly put students onto their own teams, or Student Select Teams is when they can establish their own teams. Under the rocket icon, this is you can just change the icon for the race. It can be a rocket, a bear, a bicycle, or one of these other choices. We're going to go ahead and keep it a rocket. Do I want to hide the students' right or wrong feedback? No, again, I do not. So let's go ahead and start the race. When I start the race, I can identify that I have 2 teams established. One is blue and one is magenta. I can walk around the classroom and see who is on which team, because the students, again, are going to be prompted to enter their name, and then they're asked the questions again. I am on the blue team. So again, I can walk around the classroom and see who is on the blue team, who is on the magenta team. Again, these are the same questions from the previous test, but I think with the race, I might have lesser questions than what I have on this actual test. Let's click back and see how the teams are doing. I can see that the magenta and the blue team, well, the blue team is just pulled out front, but magenta is quickly catching up. If I had a Mimeo in my room and I had the availability to project this on the screen so the students can see, I might consider doing that, as I believe that it would make it more exciting for the students to actually see who's winning. This race is based on how quickly the students answer the questions and if they are answered correctly. Incorrect answers do not count, so I should probably get back to help my team because it looks like we're tied up with magenta. And I think I'm going to get that one wrong because I'm going too quickly. I definitely don't want to get any others wrong because I'd like my team to win. Let's go back. Yep, I haven't even finished, but it looks like that the blue team has pulled out in front of the magenta team. Let me finish this up here. Ooh, I got that one correct. I'm waiting for the teacher's next assignment. The blue team has won. When I click the finish button, again, I can get the reports either emailed to myself, downloaded to my computer, or sent directly to my Google Drive. I can view a chart. Again, this gives me the student's name, a percentage of the questions they got correct, and then again, I can go back and look at the individual questions that they had missed. Dashboard takes me right back to the dashboard. We have one more thing to cover here, and that's an exit slip. Let's go ahead and click on the exit slip. When I click on the exit slip, the students are again prompted to enter their name. Once they are done, they answer a series of 3 questions. How well did you understand today's material? I totally got it. What did you learn in today's class? I learned to utilize Socrative with my students. Please answer their teacher's question. This is when the teacher will pose another out loud question for the students, and my question for my students is, did you enjoy your time in this class today? Again, once finishing the exit slip, the students could be prompted to wait for the teacher again. Let's go back and look at the teacher account. So I can see that Heather has answered her questions 100%. Paige has only answered 67%. And we lost Casey somewhere along the way. So now Heather and Paige have answered their questions 100%, and I can view their answers and these questions. What did you learn in today's class? What I've learned in today's class is don't rush no matter what. I would definitely go back and address my students' grammar in that statement. I'm going to click Finish here. Again, when clicking Finish, you can get reports, view a chart, or go to the dashboard. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. So again, after logging into your teacher account, your teacher free account, you can start a quiz, ask a quick question, have a space race, or have an exit ticket. But before utilizing all of these choices, you need to click on Manage the Quizzes and create quizzes for your classes. You can import a quiz from someone else's quiz having their Socrative share number. You have a bank of your quizzes here that you can choose from. And your reports show you what you've done. We had an exit ticket that was completed today, an elements of the story pretest, and another one that I have done earlier. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you're interested in creating your own Socrative account, visit Socrative.com. I think it's very interesting, and this is definitely something that I'm going to be utilizing in my classroom.